Hello everyone and welcome back to Dusty Tunes. It's Destiny here. So as we get closer and closer to the last episode of the amazing digital circus, there seems to be more and more tension growing within this fan base. First, it was the split feelings on whether or not there should be a theatrical release of the final episode, and now the discourse seems to be revolved around whether or not Jax is a likable character. So if you've seen my other videos talking about the amazing digital circus, you probably already know how I feel about Jax as a character, but in case you haven't seen it, let me inform you. When I first started watching this series, I will admit that I wasn't the biggest fan of Jax as a character, and I would even go as far as to say that I almost hated his character. And I think that was the point. Like, obviously, that was the point. Jax wasn't wrong when he said that each of these characters plays a specific role within the circus. Every character is written to be someone specific. Whether or not that character regresses or grows is still part of who that character is initially meant to be. And in this case, Jax was written to be the jerk, but the jerk for a reason. The thing about Jax is, even when acknowledging the fact that he is meant to be unlikable and the reasoning behind his actions are revealed, it doesn't have to change the fact that fans don't like him as a character. I mentioned in one of my previous videos that Jax doesn't automatically deserve the support and sympathy from the other characters, and he's actually quite lucky that they were as forgiving as they were, considering the fact that Jax made it his personal goal to torment these characters physically and emotionally throughout their time in the circus. It's one thing to hate this character and not understand why he's the way that he is, versus understanding his character and still not liking his character either way. I will be the first person to say this, and I know that a lot of people probably won't like me saying it, but Jax isn't as complicated of a character that the amazing digital fanbase tries to make him seem. And in fact, most of the characters are not complicated at all. They all fall within very common character tropes, especially Jax. We have seen the hard-shelled character who is secretly battling something internal so many times before. The hurt people quote wouldn't even be a thing if this wasn't a common reoccurrence that we've seen within all forms of media. People try to boil Jax's very annoying and jerk-like behavior on the complexity of his character, but I call bull on all of that. I will say that Jax as a character definitely does have layers, and it's been interesting to see why his character is the way that he is, but at the same time, there's still absolutely no excuse for his character to behave in the way that he has. I definitely understand the need to have a versatile cast of characters, so somebody will have to be the agitator. But it also needs to be understood by the fanbase that this character is going to receive a lot of backlash from the others in the fanbase because his character is not meant to be likable. There are people out there who do love Jax as a character because of his bully-like attitude, but there are also people out there who find it to be too much, and that's also okay. With the growing assumption that the last episode is going to have a huge focus on Jax, the more fans seem to be upset with the fact that there's been so much attention being put on this character versus the other characters within the circus. Now, personally, I don't have an issue with Jax being the center of attention for the final episode because it kind of feels as if Jax has been the center of attention since the very beginning of this series. But I also feel like Jax will not be a likable character for me unless he has actual growth, and with there only being one more episode left in the series, this is Jax's last chance to win over not only me, but the entire other half of this fanbase. Do I think that he will be capable of doing this? That's a completely different situation, but personally I feel like his character will only be redeemable to me if we see him take a moment to truly apologize to the other characters for behaving the way that he has, but also allowing himself to be more vulnerable not only with the other characters, but also letting go of some of those emotions he's been holding on to so tightly. Within the circus, there doesn't seem to be much growth that could happen for the other characters outside of Jax, which is why the last episode revolving him makes the most sense in my opinion. As a Gangle fan, I wish that it could have been her, but I understand why it has to be Jax. So circling back to Jax's behavior, I just want everyone to remember the fact that all of these characters have lost something or someone to this circus, and the way that they have decided to cope with life after that loss is completely up to them as individuals. I just wish that Jax didn't resort to becoming the bully because of his trauma. Kinger has lost his literal wife along with part of his sanity, and we still have yet to see him act anywhere near the same as Jax has towards any of the other cast members, which is why I don't really care about the whole "he's going through something" argument that fans try to make to excuse this behavior. I try my best to relate pieces of art to real life experience, which is why it gives me such an uneasy feeling seeing just how much this fanbase coddles a character like Jax, knowing the sort of person that he could be in certain circumstances. Obviously, Jax isn't actually a jerk, he just tries to paint himself as this way, but seeing the way that people defend his behavior and would rather baby him instead of wanting to see him held accountable is upsetting to me, considering the fact that this isn't how it would play in real life and this isn't how it should play out in real life. To wrap up this video, I just want to say that although Jax isn't meant to be a likable character, it doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't a portion of the fanbase that wants to like his character. I'm speaking for myself personally here. Jax has the capability of being the best character in this series, but it's going to take actual effort, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with fans wanting this from his character. At the same time, I think it's absolutely wild for people on either side of this debate to be openly bullying each other over a fictional character. We are getting closer and closer to the finale of a series that is quite literally helping to pave the way for indie animation, and instead of spending this time arguing with each other, we should be rejoicing in the fact that we have been able to share in the experience of seeing this series at one point in our life, and that we are about to reach the ending of this journey together. I wanted to give my personal opinion on how I feel about Jax as a character and what I would have liked to see from his character. I can only hope that they decide to go in the direction of allowing Jax to grow, and if that happens, I'm sure we can expect the opinions on his character to change, but who knows what episode 9 will hold. This is probably going to be the last time that I talk about the Amazing Digital Circus before going to see the movie and then making a video about episode 9 and the entirety of the series. So everybody, just remember to be kind. We are all fans of the same piece of media here. We can all share our opinions in a way that don't bully or belittle each other. At the end of the day, these are just fictional characters, and we have to remember that although they are fake, people are not. So the way that you speak to each other can stick, it can leave a lasting mark, so be kind. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video in the future. Let me know down in the comments, do you like Jax as a character? Are you somewhere in between like me? What are you wanting to see from his character? And if you don't like Jax, who's your favorite character? Mine is Gangle, of course. I love my little just emotionally weird queen. I so relate to her. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!